I don't know what I would be without blacksmithing. Hello, I'm Nick and I'm a blacksmith in this, my workshop at Hammersong Forge. Most of it's actually originally based around a school trip where in primary school we did a visit to a folk park. I think it might have been down in Omagh at the Ulster American maybe. But we went to the folk park and I got picked along with a couple of other boys to go into the blacksmiths and make some things, and I thought that was just brilliant. So I've had an interest in it ever since primary school, but it's only been sort of like the age of 16 I maybe started playing about with it, and actually now I'm up to this point.
Bags of lumpwood charcoal are easy to come by. Most forges traditionally would have run on charcoal. Once this burns down a little bit and we start to get to this phase, we'll start piling coal on and then we'll run the blower and we should get a nice big whoosh of flame. Every blacksmith has a variety of tools that they have to learn, along with your anvil and all of your hammers and all of your tongs. You've also got your fire, so you have to learn how to work your fire as well. Each one's going to be different and each one is going to be temperamental.
Okay, so we're going to take a rusty metal file, which was once used for shaping wood and metal, and turning it into a knife, which will have all of our basics in it. So we'll have twists, scrolls, bevels, it'll have a nice sharp edge on it, and our maker's mark.
So you can see it's not a big fire at the moment, but it's big enough for us to start doing things like heat treating. If we're working with files, they can be very hard, they can be quite brittle as well. So dropping one can result in it breaking. So what we do is put it through a heat treat and soften the whole thing up. Malleable is what we're always going for.
The first time I made a forge, it didn't run particularly well. Whenever I'd had a bit of practice and I built my first full-size dedicated forge, I had designed an air system for it. I put it all together, and whenever I fired it up for the first time, and I got this almighty rush of air through it where it roared, and it was incredible to have a forge that actually got up to temperature, that I could forge weld in, that would bring the steel up to a yellow and beyond if it needed it. It was incredible. I felt like I'd actually done something successfully. I could make, nails all day, or I could do bending and scroll work, or I could make a gate in it. It just felt like it was a culmination of what I'd been trying to do. So that feeling was incredible of actually having it run properly the first time.
We start getting our eye in, making sure that the fire's heating where it's supposed to, because you don't know what the fire's doing until you're working in it. Same way you won't know what way a hammer swings until you swing it. So we'll knock that into the fire and we just set that in across the working area. We then put the blower on. Next bit, which is going to be our knife. We have a bit too much material on our file, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it in half, and once I've got a good starter line, it's got a good start, I can come up onto the side. That's our file off and into two pieces. We will start to work down the point. This is where we start to gain all of our length. But yes, ideally I want this to be just below yellow, because there's a lot of material here to work with. See what you are like. Okay. Let's hope she survives.
In Antrim, near where I live, across the bridge in Antrim, there's an old forge, and you can still see the shape of the door, and it kind of has that horseshoe shape, and it was a way of advertising their craft. You'll still see those buildings around the countryside, but they're derelict, or they don't have anybody working in it anymore. So most of the foundries, most of the same with the mills, the metal shops, the everything that we had for producing stuff locally, you know, within 12 miles of the house, isn't there anymore.
Do a little inspection for trueness along the edge. This just needs a stamp so you can identify your own work. Smiths will normally have a couple of different stamps over their lifetime. And the one that I am currently using is my little handmade badge. Whenever the blade comes out, it will deform a little bit with this, but say this is an essential part of the making, because at this point we could say that the blade is done effectively. We still put it through for a little tidy up. Might be some other little bits that get knocked around on it, but generally, once it has that little hand mark on it, you could count it as done.
That's why I think it's important that traditional crafts are still remembered. We do still have our use. For a lot of people, it's just cheaper to buy it from abroad and to wait for it to come in, and that sort of kicks us out of the way a little bit. Whenever we still do good work, it's probably a better tool than you'll get from abroad, and you can go around the corner and see it being made. So while it's not there anymore, some of us are still pushing at it, and as long as we keep going, then I think it'll stay alive. Traditional crafts will get to stay alive.
I am going to pop a couple of twists in here and scroll the back first. And again, just lock her into the vise, and I'm going to take it clockwise. And we're going to put that twist in. And we're just going to go round the once here on this one. Just keep it nice and tidy. And then the second one will drop in and go the opposite direction.
We're not trying to be noble about it. We do it because we love it. We do it because we have an interest in it, and we would do it if nobody else cared. We would do it if there was no money in it, and for a lot of people there isn't any money in it.
And the last one went to the right. This one's going to go to the left. But whenever we rotate it, it has a pleasant pattern because it seems to both run with and against itself. So now just a little scroll in the back. It's nice and gentle.
But getting to do it is what makes it worthwhile.
Scroll in the end. So now we'll put the curl into the handle. That's why I like blacksmithing so much. It's a want to create, but also a want for permanence. Yeah. I'll never paint a Sistine Chapel, but you know, I might forge a couple of good spoons in my time, and that's enough for me.